Greetings to my friends and all of my fellow St. Louis community members who will be participating in and worshiping in the services around the feast of King Louis IX, 7th year in a row. So there's been a lot of questions amongst Catholics, evangelicals, Christians, Jews. How do we keep our young people engaged? How do we keep our young people involved in faith? How do we keep our older adults into faith during the era of the rise of the nuns? The nuns mean people who are non-religiously affiliated. Church attendance is down. We're in an era of secularization. People I know in the St. Louis area who are born and raised in Catholic schools, K through 12, leave, and you can't see any influence of the Catholic faith on their belief system and their daily lives. How do you get people to worship? How do you get people to venerate the saints? Well, I guess one way you do that is to have a protest where you call for the removal of the statue monument commemorating King Louis IX, the namesake of the city of St. Louis. So I believe I am responsible for a slight uptick in church attendance and the birth of this festival in St. Louis. And I hope everyone has a great time and that you leave there with a renewed spirit. I think we're in challenging times as a country and throughout the world, and many are challenging the value of our faith tradition, the value of scriptures, the value of God, the value of teaching our children religious traditional values. This is all under threat and under attack from the popular culture, from the media, from Hollywood, from social media, from the foundation and nonprofit network, and most importantly through the university system, which eats up a lot of children who grew up in good families. This is a time to remember that the Pope was a White Sox fan, but remember, he wouldn't be where he is without the Cardinals. I think he has been doing a wonderful job, as his predecessor has, in addressing the issues that really impact humanity. Love for one another, love for our neighbors, and this great tradition which many Catholics share of being neighborly, reaching down to help the immigrant, help the stranger, and to inspire others through service. Through this spirit, we can see that people of all faith can join together. Not that we don't have our unique theological differences, those will remain, but what we can unite upon is a shared vision for our community, a shared vision for America, that we want this country to be a place of good values, that's safe to raise our children, safe to transmit our faith traditions to the next generations, and that we can work together. There are forces that want to divide Muslims and Jews and Protestants and Catholics, and these forces of division are very loud now, and they're all throughout social media. The last few years, I've had the chance to grow and learn a lot about the Catholic faith. I've visited some wonderful places: Metropolitan Cathedral in Mexico City, St. Mary's Basilica in Krakow, Poland, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and the Via Dolorosa, the Walk of Sorrows, and many other places, as well as spending time with my friend and podcast host, a co-host, Father Augustine Weta of the Disagreement podcast. So I've learned a lot about the Catholic faith and why a rally like we had may be offensive to so many Catholics, which I really wasn't cognizant of prior to this journey. So I also invited Father Augustine to the open house at the mosque, which I think he enjoyed tremendously. And I have been, during a period of heightened anti-Semitism, to Shabbat dinners with our local Orthodox Jewish community. And I think this is a time to reflect that we can all come together as people of faith to work on the issues that we agree on and to put our theological disagreements to the side and don't let the force, and that debate can continue over theology. It's not that it's dead, but there are things that we can work on together, and to not let the forces of hate and division and those who have a disdain for all faith traditions and all religion and all God and God, that we can work together to make this community a better place, because we know St. Louis and all of America is experiencing trying times and need God more than ever.